Hare Krishna. We continue reading teachings of Queen Kunti. We are on prayer number 24, which is called Cutting of Ties of Affection. This is in Srimad Bhagavatam 1, Canto 1, Chapter 8, Text 41. Atha Vishesha Vishvatman Vishwamurte Swakeshu Me Sneha Pasham Imam Chindi Dridam Pandushu Vrishnishu. O Lord of the universe, soul of the universe, O personality of the form of the universe, please, therefore, sever my tie of affection for my kinsmen, the Pandavas and the Rishnis. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. A pure devotee of the Lord is ashamed to ask anything in self-interest from the Lord. But the householders are sometimes obliged to ask favors from the Lord, being bound by the tie of family affection. So a pure devotee does not ask anything from God. What he is asking the Lord, I just want to engage in your service. Why? He does not want to ask anything for himself, because he says, if I'm asking the Lord for something, means I'm engaging the Lord in my service, means I'm making the Lord my servant. But that's not the position of the Lord, and that is not my position. So a pure devotee, he wants only to always serve the Lord and never wants to ask anything for himself. But Prabhupada is saying that householders, what happens is the grihastas get very bound by family affection. It's natural. It's very natural. We get attached. So then sometimes the grihastas may ask favors from the Lord. Srimati Kunti Devi was conscious of this fact, and therefore she prayed to the Lord to cut off the affectionate tie from her own kinsmen, the Pandavas and the Rishnis. The Pandavas are her own sons, and the Rishnis are the members of her paternal family. Krishna was equally related to both families. So Pandavas and Rishnis. Krishna is from the Yadu dynasty, and also the Pandavas. He's related to both. He's related to both of them. So what she's saying, you please cut my affection to both of us, to my in-laws, my in-laws family, my children, and cut off my affection for my parental family. Let my affection be only for you, my dear Krishna. Both the families required the Lord's help because both were dependent devotees of the Lord. Srimati Kunti Devi wished Sri Krishna to remain with her sons, the Pandavas, but by his doing so, her paternal house would be bereft of the benefit. All these partialities troubled the mind of Kunti, and therefore she desired to cut off the affectionate tie. Because Kunti Maharani had been telling to Krishna, my dear Krishna, please stay with us. You see, we are having such abundance. The earth is giving abundance, grains. We just read in the previous prayer that there's abundance of grains, there is valuable pearls, everything. Why? Because you are there with us. Your lotus feet are marked on the earth with us. So you please stay with us. So she was saying that. So now she's feeling, oh, but if Krishna is here, I'm asking Krishna to be here because my affection for my children, the Pandavas, then what happens to my parental house? Then he can't be there. The Rishnis, Krishna is supposed to go back there, but she's telling him, don't go. You be here with me, with the Pandavas. Now she's feeling a conflict of emotion. So then what she's saying, that's why you cut off my affection for both of them, because I'm coming from a place of attachment for the Pandavas. And then I'm feeling, oh, the Rishnis will be bereft of your association. So, okay, you cut off my attachment. A pure devotee cuts off the limited ties of affection for his family and widens his activities of devotional service for all forgotten souls. The typical example is the band of 6 Goswamis who followed the path of Lord Chaitanya. All of them belong to the most enlightened and cultured rich families of the higher castes. But for the benefit of the mass of population, they left their comfortable homes and became mendicants. So what does a pure devotee do? That he wants to give Krishna to everyone. He wants to serve everyone. He understands that, we have all forgotten Krishna. We have forgotten souls. So for our benefit, he gives up his family. He gives up his family so that he can serve the entire world. And Prabhupada is saying, one of the examples is the 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan. Srila Prabhupada is also an example of that. He left his home so that he could give Krishna consciousness to everyone. So the 6 Goswamis, they were also very rich, cultured families, very high positions in society, but they gave up everything. They went to Vrindavan. They left their comfortable houses. They became mendicants. Mendicants. They had nothing. They were living under a different tree every night. They had huge houses, almost like palaces, but they left it all. For what? For our benefit. For our benefit, because they were writing the scriptures, they were discussing the scriptures. They have left such valuable Bhakti Shastras for us, the teachings of Lord Chaitanya. They have left it for all of us. So to cut off all family affections means to broaden the field of activities. Without doing this, no one can be qualified as a Brahmana, a king, a public leader, or a devotee of the Lord. The personality of Godhead as an ideal king showed by his example. Sri Ramachandra cut off the tie of affection for his beloved wife to manifest the qualities of an ideal king. So even the Supreme Lord himself, he had to bear separation from his wife. It was not easy, but he did that to show how an ideal king should be. So Prabhupada is saying that a devotee of the Lord cuts his ties to the family. Similarly, a Brahmana, a king, a public leader also do this for the higher good of everyone. Such personalities as a Brahmana, a devotee, a king, or a public leader must be very broad-minded in discharging their respective duties. Srimati Kunti Devi was conscious of this fact, and being weak, she prayed to be freed from such bondage of family affection. So she understands that she's just too attached to her family. She understands that. She's understanding that a devotee should not be so attached to the family, because then that's on the bodily platform. In fact, should be broad-minded, seeing everyone as a part and parcel of God. That is real broad-mindedness. Seeing everyone as a part and parcel of God. And in that way, doing our duties. So that is the duty of a devotee or a king or a Brahmana, a public leader, to see everyone as part and parcel of God and to serve them in that mode. Now, Kunti Devi is understanding that she has too much of the family affection. So that's the reason she's telling the Lord, please cut my affection to the Pandavas and to the Rishnis. The Lord is addressed as the Lord of the universe or the Lord of the universal mind, indicating his all-powerful ability to cut the hard knot of family affection. So Krishna can. He can cut off the hard knot of our family affection. He can cut off our knot, which is binding us to this material world. He is the only one who can do that. He or his bona fide representative. Therefore, it is sometimes experienced that the Lord out of a special affinity toward a weak devotee, breaks the family affection by force of circumstances arranged by his all-powerful energy. So the Lord sometimes does that. He will create a situation where, oh, this devotee is required to do something else. The Lord will create a situation where the devotee can then leave the house and engage in Krishna consciousness. It was for Srila Prabhupada. We saw that also, that how the situation was created. Then Srila Prabhupada left his home. He left his home to give Krishna consciousness to all of us. By doing so, he causes the devotee to become completely dependent on him and thus clears the path for his going back to Godhead. So when a devotee becomes completely dependent on Krishna, he's now cut off his family affection. He understands that it's only Krishna that can save him. Then he becomes completely dependent on Krishna, and then that is clearing the path to go back home, back to Godhead, because the devotee then has understood the truth, he's realized the truth, that I'm completely dependent on Krishna. Kunti was the daughter of the Rishni family and the wife and the mother of the Pandava family. Generally, a woman has affection for both her father's family and husband's family, and therefore Kunti prays to Krishna, I'm a woman, and women are generally attached to their families. So kindly cut off my attachment so that I may be thoroughly attached to you. Without you, both families are zero. I am falsely attached to these families, but my real purpose in life is to be attached to you. This is bhakti, to be attached to Krishna. So that's Kunti Devi is praying to Krishna in that way. You please cut off my attachment to my parents' family, to my husband's family, and let my attachment be only to you. So I'll be thoroughly attached to you. And this is my real purpose in my life, to be attached to you. And Srila Prabhupada is saying, this is bhakti. When we get attached to Krishna, we get attached to Krishna. This is bhakti. Is that okay? So we'll stop here for today. Thank you so much for listening and joining in. Kunti Maharani ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.